Good old Rocket League, a 2015 release game that just got nominated for a ton of awards. It's also my favorite multiplayer game, and we all know that my opinion is superior to others. I bought this game back in 2018, so you know that I was pissed when it went free in 2020. But ever since Epic took ownership of Rocket League, they haven't really changed much of the overall feel of Rocket League. There's nothing fresh or anything to get excited about in the next update. So here's things that Rocket League needs in their next update. I think Clubs is the best update Rocket League has ever had. You and your friends getting to represent yourself with a certain name and color is just really fun and something with a lot of potential. But really, it's just a small game modification that really doesn't affect the game at all. I think the best thing you could do for customization is letting us make a logo. I think the best way that clubs can get logos is just uploading them from the internet, but then you'd have to go through a filter system so people don't upload, Or having a Call of Duty style emblem creator would also be really cool because there are limitless possibilities with those emblem creators. And just stick it on the scoreboard or something. It's as easy as that. And while we're on the topic of clubs, can we get a club record? You as a player get all these detailed stats, but as a club, you get nothing. It doesn't even have to be big. You can put in something small like, oh, hey, here's your team record. Or you can put on how many tournaments that specifically your team has done. It's small things like that that really makes your club feel a lot more alive. And one last thing that would be cool is that you could have a club anthem. We all have our own player anthems. Well, wouldn't it be cool to hear Rams Ranch every single time your team scores?
18 naked cowboys in the shout.
Anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for the club customization segment. Okay, this is kind of complicated, so just pay attention. As you can see here, we are in overtime, and this loss is completely my fault. I hit it at the wrong time, and they got a wide open net, and that cost us the whole game. Which brings up the point that overtime losses shouldn't count as regular losses. Okay, since we are a low-budget YouTube channel, and by YouTube channel, I just mean myself, I wrote out how the ranking system works on a piece of paper, and I'm just going to explain that with this as my pointer. So you have your overall rank. You were going to use platinum as an example here. This works for every single rank. It doesn't matter. You can be bronze or supersonic legend. And then they're split up into 3 different ranks. There's 1, 2, and 3. Again, works for every single rank. And we're going to use Plat 1 as an example here. There are divisions in each of these ranks. There are 4 divisions. Now, which brings us down, we're going to use Division 4 as an example here, which brings us down into our matchmaking rank. These are not in the game. It doesn't say anything about what matchmaking rank you are in the game because they're not numbered. 1 win means that you would go up in your matchmake rank. And if you win enough, you go into the next division. You win enough games in your division, you go to the next rank, and this goes up. It's all a system that you probably know how it works. But 1 loss means that you go down in your matchmaking rank, which of course down the division, down in your rank, all of that. Okay, I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, well, what does that have to do with overtime losses not counting? Well, I think that overtime losses should not count as a matchmaking rank going down. You should just stay the same matchmaking rank you are. Overall, you did play a full regulation game without losing. So it's also less rage-inducing. It's kind of like in hockey of how each team, the winning team gets 2 points and the losing team gets 1 point. If they lose in overtime, it's complicated. I'm just gonna assume you got that. There are a total of 14 maps that you can play in online competitive, and I think that's stupid. And it's a shame because there's other maps in the game that are just like these that aren't used in competitive. Neon Fields is one of my favorite maps in the game, and it's not even used in competitive for no reason. Starbase Arc is visually stunning, and I get people didn't like Starbase Arctagon, but they made Starbase Arc Aftermath, which is just like any other map that can be used in competitive, but it's not for some reason. I'm not asking Epic to put in lab maps in competitive, that's just flat out wrong, but they're all shaped and formed the same. It doesn't make any gameplay difference. We need to give up hype for new maps. Let's go, G2! I recently got into esports, and it's the best thing I've ever done. I came to the sad realization that not too many people care about esports, at least not enough to like write articles or make predictions or do any fun things like in regular sports nowadays. Now I feel like all tournaments are just treated the same. No matter if it's an A tier or an S tier tournament, they all have the same stakes that no one can really tell the difference between. But this is most definitely the teams playing. That's their fault because they do absolutely zero marketing to make sure their team gets views. Moist Critical, who's the owner of Team Moist, has more views on his video reacting to them winning the Spring Major than them actually winning the Spring Major. I mean, the players have great personalities and they're obviously having fun. Don't you want to encourage this? FaZe won the North American Regional yesterday, and they didn't even put an Instagram post out for it. Now I have to rely on Sunless Khan to tell me about this interesting esports player. And then a small YouTuber to recap that regional that I watched. Not RLCS themselves, no, this guy. The last point about the esports was kind of not Epic Games' problem. But still, I like to see teams do that. And I like to see Epic Games make those updates that I talked about earlier in the video. I want to see that happen, so if you're watching this, tag Epic Games. I don't know what their tagline is. They probably don't even have one set up. But do it and subscribe, please.